The hours between 9:40 a.m. and 5 p.m. felt endless. I worked my whole shift with my stomach in knots, checking the clock every few minutes, waiting for something, anything, to happen. Maya stayed the entire time, pretending to sip a cold coffee, but her eyes kept flicking to the street, like she expected him to walk in at any second. He never did. My manager finally noticed how pale I was. "You look rough. I'll clock you out. Go home." It was the only lucky break I'd gotten all week. I grabbed my things and headed straight for the back door with Maya. Outside, the light had shifted into late afternoon gold, too warm and bright for the dread sitting in my chest. "Okay," I said. "It's almost time." Maya nodded, but something in her eyes sharpened, a decision forming. "Turn your phone on silent," she said. "What? Why?" "Just do it." I pulled it from my apron pocket and fumbled with the settings, confused. While my attention was down, Maya subtly sidestepped, turning her back to me. I didn't see her slip her own phone from her jacket. I didn't see her dial 911. But I heard a faint, tiny click, too soft to register as anything serious. When she turned back, her hands were empty. "All right," she whispered. "Let's go." I didn't know she'd kept the call connected. I didn't know dispatch was already listening. I didn't know she'd tucked the active phone into her sleeve, screen pressed against her wrist. I just followed her toward Brookview Lane, heart pounding. 5:11 p.m. The houses were quiet, still, a little too still. Number 42 stood out immediately. Peeling paint, dead porch light, no car in the driveway. A house trying to look normal and failing. We stopped at the edge of the driveway. Maya's breath hitched, but her voice stayed steady. "You ready?" Number. Never. But I nodded. 5:15 p.m. The porch light flicked on. We both flinched. A second later, the front door creaked open, just an inch or two. A voice slipped out, calm, like he was expecting us. "Come inside." Maya stepped forward, knife in hand. "Maya," I hissed. But then, a sound from inside the house. A small, muffled, terrified sound. A whimper. Not a man's voice. Not a threat. A woman. Maya's face crumpled. Lena. I ran after her as she charged up the steps, pushing the door open with her shoulder. The house was dim. The air stale like it hadn't been opened in weeks. The living room was empty. Too empty. A phone buzzed on a table. Lena's phone, shattered and duct-taped together. A coffee cup sat next to it, the same one she used every morning. And there, in the far corner, tied to a chair, shivering and pale, was Lena. Her eyes widened when she saw us. Maya dropped to her knees and started cutting the ropes with shaking hands. I grabbed Lena's shoulders as she sagged forward. "Where is he?" I whispered. Lena shook her head violently. Her voice was raw, barely there. He's gone. He left this morning. He knew you'd come." He said you'd figure it out. My blood ran cold. He watched us? I asked. Lena nodded, trembling harder. Every day, through the window, through the cameras in the shop. He said he liked your routine too. Your face, the way you look at customers. A floorboard creaked above us. All three of us froze. Maya stood up in a flash, knife raised. I grabbed Lena tighter. Another step. Slow, heavy. He hadn't left. He'd been upstairs, listening, waiting. A man's voice drifted from the staircase, still calm, almost friendly. You're late. Everything inside me snapped into place. The orders, the times, the watching, the pattern. He didn't care about the coffee. He cared about routine. He cared about precision. He cared about the moment things fell apart. Maya lunged toward the staircase, just as the police sirens erupted outside. Sirens wailed outside. Red and blue light flashed against the walls, flooding the living room. Police burst through the front door and stormed up the stairs, shouting commands. A door slammed, a brief struggle, then silence. An officer returned to the top of the staircase, breathless. He's gone. Slipped out a back window. We're canvassing the area. I swallowed hard, adrenaline still spiking. Lena sobbed into Maya's shoulder. I looked around, shaken. How did they get here so fast? Maya exhaled shakily, pulling her phone from her sleeve. The screen was still lit. The call was still active. I called the second we got here, she said. Kept the line open so they could hear everything. You didn't tell me, I whispered. You would have panicked, she said softly, and we needed him off guard. Outside, officers escorted us away from the house. Lena clung to her sister. I kept looking over my shoulder, half expecting the man in sunglasses to be watching from somewhere, blending into the shadows. Because now I understood him. He didn't care about coffee, or orders, or drinks. He cared about routine, predictability, control. But tonight, we broke it, and people like him, people who stalk patterns dash, dash, dash. They don't disappear when the routine changes. They adapt. They wait. They watch. But so do we.